You've been living a lie about money your entire life. Not because you're weak, not because you're unlucky, and definitely not because you don't deserve it. You've been programmed, conditioned, hypnotized into believing that money is something you chase, something you earn through suffering, something that only comes to the lucky or the ruthless. But that's not how energy works. And money, at its core, is pure energy. Right now, as you're listening to this, money is either flowing towards you or running away from you. Not because of your bank account, not because of your job, not because of the economy, because of your frequency, your vibration, the energetic signal you're broadcasting into the field every single second of every single day. Most people think money is logical, mechanical, work hard, get paid, save money, stay safe, follow the rules, and eventually you'll have enough. But that's the matrix. That's the illusion they built to keep you trapped in cycles of scarcity while pretending it's normal, while telling you that struggle equals virtue and that wanting more makes you greedy. Here's what they never told you. Money doesn't respond to logic. It responds to energy. It doesn't care about your degree, your work ethic, or how many hours you grind. It mirrors your internal state, your beliefs, your nervous system, your energetic frequency. And if that frequency is programmed for lack, for fear, for the belief that there's never enough, then no amount of hustle will save you. You can work 18-hour days, you can have all the strategies, you can want it more than anything, but if your subconscious is still running the program that says money is hard to get, easy to lose, only for other people, then the universe listens. And it gives you more of exactly that. More struggle, more scarcity, more proof that you were right to be afraid. But here's the breakthrough. You're not stuck. This isn't permanent. This isn't your fate. You can rewire it. You can shift your frequency. You can reprogram your subconscious and align with abundance instead of fighting it. Because money isn't earned, it's allowed. And until you understand that, you'll keep playing a game that was rigged against you from the start. The truth is, you've been talking to the universe about money your entire life. Every thought you think, every emotion you feel, every belief you carry about wealth, it's all being received, processed, and reflected back to you in your financial reality. But most people don't realize they're having this conversation. They ignore the feedback. They dismiss the patterns. They stay trapped in cycles they don't understand, thinking life is random when nothing is random. Every so-called coincidence, every pattern, every repeated experience around money holds meaning if you know how to see it. The universe is always listening, always responding, always mirroring back the energy you put out. The real question isn't whether the universe is paying attention. It's whether you are. Money is energy, and energy doesn't lie. What you focus on expands. What you expect, you invite in. What you deeply believe, you create. And right now, you're tuned into one of two channels: lack or flow, scarcity or abundance, fear or trust. And whichever one you're locked into, it's running the show. You don't attract what you want, you attract what you are. This is the fundamental truth that separates those who seem to manifest wealth effortlessly from those who struggle no matter how hard they try. Most people are trying to communicate with the universe using the wrong language. They use words, wishes, desperate pleas, thinking that if they say the right thing enough times, something will shift. But the universe doesn't hear words. It hears energy. It responds to vibration. Everything in existence operates at a frequency. Your thoughts, your emotions, your state of being, they're all broadcasting a unique signal out into the world. And just like a magnet, you pull in experiences that match that frequency. This is why two people can be in the same situation and have completely different outcomes. One finds opportunities where another finds obstacles. It's not luck, it's alignment. The state you're in dictates what reality brings to you. Joy, gratitude, and love vibrate at high frequencies. They elevate your energy, expanding your presence and drawing in experiences that match that elevated state. Fear, doubt, and resentment operate at lower frequencies, narrowing your field and attracting struggle, resistance, and limitation. This is why people who constantly expect the worst often get it, and why those who carry a sense of trust and abundance seem to receive opportunities others don't see. The universe isn't making moral judgments. It's simply matching the signal you're sending out. But here's where most people struggle. They try to force positivity, thinking that if they just say affirmations or pretend to be happy, they can trick the universe. It doesn't work that way. Energy isn't just about what you say. It's about what you deeply feel. You can tell yourself you're successful 1,000 times, but if deep down you feel like a failure, that inner vibration overrides the words. You can visualize wealth, but if you're carrying wounds from the past, those wounds are still broadcasting a signal of unworthiness. The universe doesn't respond to the mask you wear. It responds to the frequency beneath it. So the question becomes, what are you actually putting out? Not what you think you're projecting, not what you wish you were feeling, but the energy that truly exists within you at this moment. Because until you shift that, nothing changes. Once you do, everything does. Let me tell you about someone. His name is Marcus. He's not real, but he might as well be, because some part of you is him. Marcus is 43, works in construction, been doing it for 20 years. He's the guy who shows up early, stays late, never complains. He's reliable, skilled, respected by his crew. He's not lazy, not stupid, not reckless. He does good work, he's honest, he takes care of his responsibilities, and yet he's broke. Still chasing bills, still living paycheck to paycheck, still telling himself it's just a tough economy, just bad timing, just the way things are for guys like him. But the truth is, Marcus isn't just financially stuck. He's energetically bankrupt, burned out from more than just work, burned out from carrying a spell, the same spell you might be carrying right now. If I'm not struggling, I don't deserve money. If I charge more, no one will hire me. If I finally succeed, something bad will happen. Marcus doesn't just build things, he fixes everyone else's problems, because deep down he never learned how to solve his own. He was taught that to be a good man means sacrifice, that asking for more is selfish, that making real money would turn him into someone people would hate. So instead of rising, he shrinks. He calls it humility, but it's not. It's fear dressed as virtue. Fear handed down like a family heirloom from men who died broke and were praised for working hard until the end. Marcus doesn't know money is energy. He thinks it's punishment, something you earn by bleeding, crawling, grinding through basements and blisters. And every time he gets ahead, boom, a random bill, a broken truck, a slow week, a fine. But it's not random, it's a pattern. His nervous system is wired for one thing: survival, not overflow, not expansion, not peace. Because somewhere deep in his subconscious, Marcus made a decision he doesn't even remember. If I have more, I'll lose myself. If I stop struggling, no one will need me. If I charge my worth, I'll end up alone. So he keeps his rates the same. He keeps saying yes when he wants to scream no. And he keeps wondering why nothing changes. But the truth is, Marcus isn't broken. He's just running outdated code. Subconscious scripts passed down from generations who never stop to question them. And unless he rewrites that code, nothing will shift. Not the income, not the clients, not the struggle. Because no matter how hard he works, his energy is still screaming, "Please don't let me thrive. I wouldn't know who I am without the suffering." If that hit, it's because you've lived it. You've worn the same armor. You've told yourself the same story. But here's the power. The spell only holds as long as it stays unconscious. And now you see it, you feel it, you know it. The pattern is exposed. The story isn't finished, not for Marcus and not for you. Awareness breaks the spell, and choice rewrites the code. Because here's the real truth. You weren't born with a scarcity mindset. You inherited it. It started early when you were a kid and asked for something simple and heard, "We can't afford that." Money doesn't grow on trees. Be grateful for what you have. Those weren't just innocent phrases, they were commands, planted in your subconscious like code, etched into your nervous system. And every time you heard them, your body learned one thing: money is hard, money is scarce, wanting more is wrong. By the time you were 7, your money blueprint was already locked in, not based on truth, not based on universal laws, but based on fear, based on lack, based on someone else's wounds. And then school reinforced it. Did anyone teach you about energy, about wealth frequency, about how to receive? No. They taught you to sit still, memorize, obey, trade time for money, follow rules, ask permission. They didn't train you for freedom. They trained you for the rat race. And religion brought another layer of conditioning. The love of money is the root of all evil. Blessed are the poor. You can't serve God and money. Let's set the record straight. Money isn't evil. It's neutral. It just amplifies what's already there. If you're greedy, money magnifies it. If you're generous, money becomes a tool for impact. But guess who benefits when you believe that being broke is holy? The system, because broke people are easier to control. And then there's the trauma. Maybe you watched your parents fight over bills. Maybe money disappeared as fast as it came in. Maybe every time things felt good, something collapsed. Those moments didn't just hurt, they imprinted. They wired your body to fear having money, to brace for loss, to expect chaos. So now, every time abundance shows up, you flinch, you undersell, you overgive, you sabotage. Because somewhere deep inside, your energy says wealth isn't safe. Better to lose it before it gets taken from me. And if that wasn't enough, we've got social media pouring gasoline on the fire. You scroll and see everyone winning, flashing success, moving faster than you. And instead of feeling inspired, you feel behind, small, ashamed, less than. That's not motivation, that's energetic debt. And you're paying the price every time you compare. Every message, every moment, every belief, all of it stacked into your blueprint. And whether you're aware of it or not, that blueprint is creating your financial reality right now. But here's the power. What was programmed can be deprogrammed. What was installed can be upgraded. What was inherited can be transformed. The universe is energy. You are energy. Money is energy. And when you understand that, when you really get it, you stop chasing and start aligning. You stop forcing and start allowing. You stop begging and start commanding. Because you realize the truth that changes everything. You are not separate from the creative force of the universe. You are an expression of it. And that means you have the power to reshape your reality from the inside out. Not through more effort, not through more strategy, but through frequency alignment, through energetic coherence. Now that you understand the foundational principles of money as energy and have begun the process of rewiring your subconscious programming, it's time to go deeper into the practical mechanics of wealth creation. Because here's what separates those who just think about abundance from those who actually live it. They understand that money responds to frequency, not force. Your nervous system is either calibrated for scarcity or abundance. Most men walk around with their stress response constantly activated, their bodies flooded with cortisol, their energy scattered across 1,000 different worries and obligations. This isn't just exhaustion, it's energetic chaos. And chaos cannot hold wealth. Think about the wealthiest people you know. Not the ones flashing fake success on social media, but the ones who actually build and maintain real wealth. They move differently. They speak differently. They carry themselves with a certain kind of calm confidence that has nothing to do with arrogance and everything to do with nervous system regulation. They've learned to operate from a state of coherence rather than crisis. This coherence isn't accidental. It's trained. And it starts with understanding that your body is constantly broadcasting a signal. When you're anxious about money, when you're checking your bank account obsessively, when you're lying awake at night calculating bills, you're sending out a frequency of lack. The universe doesn't hear your words about wanting more money. It feels your energetic state of not having enough. But when you learn to regulate your nervous system, when you can sit in the unknown without panic, when you can make decisions from clarity rather than fear, you're operating from a completely different frequency. You're broadcasting stability, confidence, and trust. And money, being energy, flows toward that signal. The ancient traditions understood this. In Hindu philosophy, they speak of the three gunyas, rajas, tamas, and sattva. Rajas is frantic action, the hustle mindset that burns you out. Tamas is inertia, the depression and paralysis that keeps you stuck. Sattva is balanced action, the state where effort becomes effortless because you're aligned with natural law. Most people trying to create wealth are stuck in rajas. They're grinding, forcing, pushing, believing that more action equals more results. But this creates resistance. It's like trying to swim upstream. You can do it, but it's exhausting and inefficient. When you shift into sattva, you're swimming with the current. You're still moving, still taking action, but it's inspired action rather than desperate action. Here's how this looks practically. Instead of checking your bank account from a place of anxiety, you check it from a place of curiosity. Instead of networking because you need something, you network because you have something to offer. Instead of pricing your services based on what you think people will pay, you price them based on the value you actually provide. This shift in approach isn't just psychological, it's energetic. When you operate from abundance rather than scarcity, people feel it, clients sense it, opportunities respond to it. Because you're no longer needy, you're no longer repelling what you want to attract. But here's where most people get tripped up. They try to fake this confidence. They put on a persona of success while their inner world is still chaotic. This doesn't work because energy doesn't lie. People can sense incongruence. The universe can sense it too. You can't fake your way into abundance. You have to actually become abundant from the inside out. This is why the inner work is non-negotiable. You have to clear the energetic blocks that keep you cycling through the same financial patterns. You have to heal the parts of you that feel unsafe with money. You have to reprogram the subconscious beliefs that limit your capacity to receive. Most men have been conditioned to believe that their worth is tied to their productivity, that they have to earn love, earn respect, earn the right to exist. This programming runs deep, and it creates a relationship with money that's based on transaction rather than flow. You believe you have to work harder to deserve more, but the universe doesn't operate on merit. It operates on resonance. When you shift from earning to allowing, everything changes. You stop trying to prove your worth and start embodying it. You stop chasing money and start attracting it. You stop forcing outcomes and start creating conditions for success to emerge naturally. This isn't passive. This isn't sitting around waiting for money to fall from the sky. This is active alignment. This is conscious creation. This is understanding that you are not separate from the intelligence that creates worlds. You are an expression of it. And when you remember that truth, when you embody it, when you live from it, your external reality has no choice but to reflect it back to you. The wealthy don't just have money, they have a different relationship with uncertainty. They've learned to be comfortable with not knowing exactly how things will work out while still moving forward with confidence. They understand that control is an illusion and that the attempt to control actually creates more chaos. This is the paradox that breaks most people's minds. The more you try to control money, the more it eludes you. The more you can trust the process while taking aligned action, the more it flows. This isn't about being reckless or irresponsible. This is about understanding that there's an intelligence in the universe that's far greater than your limited perspective. And when you align with that intelligence, you tap into resources you didn't even know existed. Your job isn't to figure out how everything will work out. Your job is to become the kind of person who naturally attracts the resources, opportunities, and connections needed to create the life you want. And that person isn't someone who has it all figured out. That person is someone who trusts themselves enough to figure it out as they go. This is mastery. Not the mastery of having all the answers, but the mastery of being able to navigate uncertainty with grace. The mastery of being able to hold a vision while staying present to what's actually happening. The mastery of being able to receive abundance without losing yourself in it. Money is energy. Your energy is your power, and your power is your birthright. The question isn't whether you deserve wealth. The question is whether you're ready to step into the version of yourself who naturally creates it. Because that version of you isn't some future fantasy. He's available right now. He's been waiting for you to remember who you really are. The time for playing small is over. The time for apologizing for your ambition is over. The time for settling for less than what you know you're capable of is over. You are an extension of the creative force of the universe, and you have been given everything you need to create a life of abundance, impact, and fulfillment. The only question is, what are you going to do with that power?